left. 1568.
Wow.
So, Valletta, it was built by the knights. They were soldiers fighting for the Pope. They were coming from 8 different countries. That's why the Knight Cross, it is 8 pointed cross. France, Germany, Spain, Italy, etc. The knights were attacked they were attacked in Malta by the Turkish, the Ottomans. When the Turkish lost, they thought they're becoming again. The Pope gave them the money and they built Valletta. They never came back again. They saw what they built and they never came back. They attacked Europe from the north of Europe instead.
The knights?
No, the Turkish.
Oh, the Turkish.
So the knights continued living behind the walls. You can see Valletta is very good for training. The knights.
Okay.
It's small. You see a lot of these balconies all around Malta. These are protected by UNESCO. You can't remove them. Origin from 2000 years ago. At that time, Malta, it was occupied by the Arabs. The women couldn't go outside alone. They were talking through the balconies. We kept using them all these years to have some shade on the apartments and to have bigger rooms. Families used to have a lot of children, so they wanted more space. Example, my father, he is one of 16 children, he's the other driver. It was common at that time, they had good hobbies in the room. 16. There are a lot of churches in Valletta, 25 churches, 2 cathedrals and 40 chapels. If you see any church open, you can just walk in. You pray only St. John's Cathedral during the week. St. John's, it's all gold, fine tapestry, and there's the Caravaggio paintings inside. The most expensive painting of Caravaggio, it is the behead of St. John. It is inside St. John's Cathedral. It's insured for 1 billion. The only one that he ever signed, Caravaggio. That's the best museum to see in Valletta. So Saturday afternoon it's very quiet. Okay? During the week here there'll be 15,000 people working over here. Government departments, the ministries, the law firms, embassies, they're all in Valletta.
People are involved.
So here is the Manuel Theatre. At the back it's on the right, behind this couple. The theatre, it's not beautiful from the outside. Built to be hidden from the enemy. From the inside, there's the picture on my leaflet. It's at the bottom left. It's all wooden balconies. It can take 550 people inside and no microphones. They have very good acoustics. It's still in use in winter. They do operas, music.
On YouTube, I see this, and they were singing our anthem, national anthem, in Maltese.
At the moment they're doing the X Factor.
Did you see it? Did you see it? If you go on YouTube, you will see it.
Every weekend in the winter they'll be there.
Yeah, no, but it's on YouTube. Yeah, go on. But I remember seeing this, and there was a child and everyone, you know, and they were singing the Maltese anthem. Yeah, go on it and have a look at the Maltese anthem, and then you will see them, because you will see this. There are others, but this is one of them is it.
So the Knights of Malta, they were beaten by Napoleon, 1798. We didn't like Napoleon, he was stealing from us. Just after 1 year, we fought against him, but the Maltese were killed for doing so. There's the monument in the square. We didn't fight against Napoleon again. We told the British to do the job for us. We told the British to attack Napoleon in our own country. So, 1801, the British came here, and Napoleon just ran away. That's how we became a British colony. Here is the Anglican Cathedral, St. Paul.
Not Church of England.
St. Paul's Pro Anglican Cathedral. We have been only independent from the British. We have been only independent 1964. The British kept using the harbours around Valletta as a British Navy base until 1979. So very recent. When you are in Slima, you see a big dome. It is this church. At the back, it's on the right, the Carmelite Church. It will reopen again after 5 o'clock. Here is the theater again. We are from the back side. Here there's a small door. It's the backstage entrance. At the back, it's on your left. So we have the pavement with steps. Originally there were no roads, they were all steps all the way across. The British built the roads after. The steps, they are very shallow steps. The knights had good armory, but it was too heavy. At least they won't have to bend their knees a lot with that heavy armor. Here's a small fountain. There are around 8 of them spread around Valletta. When they built Valletta, fresh water came out only through these fountains. They brought the water from the north of Malta, carried down on aqueducts. Aqueducts, these are like arches on the street bringing water down. You will see parts of them when you go to Mdina, the old capital of Malta. On the way to Mdina. Thank you. So the property here, it's too expensive for us to live in it. It's around 5,000 euros per square meter. So we live outside, we pay half the price. They're being turned commercial. Like here's a boutique hotel. At the back, it's on your right. Boutique hotels, shops, restaurants. The property in Malta has doubled in the last 8 years. Cost to buy this over 1 million.
No wonder we're being invaded in Aura with properties. Cheaper, say it's cheap, but cheaper than
You're paying for the location. The apartments here, they are not very old. Valletta, Second World War, it was 40% bombed. This was a British war. After the war, the government built council apartments. Nobody wanted to live in them. There was the warships here. So the government gave them for free. He told them, go and live in them. You don't pay any rent. Your children will keep using them. Today, nobody wants to move out. It's the best location. And they only pay 500 euros per year. So I'm very jealous. As you can see, I don't have one of them. That's why I'm working Saturday afternoon. Okay? In Slim, an apartment over there costs over 1 million. That's where the money is coming from. Construction. Foreigners buying property.
Yeah, but they still buy.
Foreigners, Russian, Chinese, Arabs, Indians. Well, the money they would invest. They slow down a little bit, but yes. Here it's Fort St. Elmo. Inside the fortress there is the War Museum. I'm going to show the end. If anyone remembers the very old film Midnight Express, there was the jail in Turkey. It was filmed in this fort. The last film filmed in Malta was Jurassic World. In fact, when I'm going to stop in the center, there's a dinosaur. That is part of the film. October, right? Look, the fortress is shooting cannons in the wrong direction. They were not drunk. This was built before Valletta. At that time, it was alone. There was the enemy on both sides. The knights then, they built Valletta and they just joined them together. It was built by a French grandmaster, Jean de la Vallette. That's why it's called Valletta, after him. The circles on the ground, these are called granaries. They used to open them and you store food and grain under it. When the enemy comes, you had up to 6 months food stored. You will burn all the fields around the island. The enemy will be starving and you had 6 months food stored. You will see a lot of them by the bus station. They are the same. Food and grain. On the left is the entrance to the War Museum inside the fortress. Next to it there's a very good film, the Malta Experience. A film in all the languages about the history of Malta. This similar but not the same company. The big building over here, the back, it's on the left. Used to be the Knights Hospital.